What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and this is my Glock 26 Gen 5 MOS cut from the factory. It came like this. It came with all the plates, all the adapters, and so on. But before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe, tell me what you carried today. I don't care what you put down below, what you want to see on the channel, what you want to see me compare next. Put it down there. It all helps the channel get into the algorithms. Therefore, I can continue to help you guys and learn myself. Now, couple things that you'll see on this. One is this trigger. That is the Glock Performance trigger, not the stock Gen 5 trigger that comes in the Glocks. This is the Performance trigger, which is an aftermarket trigger sold by Glock. And oh my goodness, is it perfect. It is perfect for everyday carry. It is at just the right weight. It's not too light, not too heavy, but at the same time, so much smoother and crisp than a Glock trigger actually is. So I absolutely love that. That is only offered for the Gen 5s. Next up is the Handle It Edge Series grips. And the reason why I'm telling you guys all this stuff is because you guys always ask in the comments, so I thought I would just get out of the way. These grips are the best. They also come with these little tabs right here for memory pads. Absolutely love that. Next up is I have the Sealy CT2 optic on there. Absolutely love this optic. It's been 100% reliable. I now have 9 Sealy optics. I just got the Wolf 2. This one's fully submersible in water, rainproof. It's an absolute beast, and I'm going to be torture testing it at some point. Next up, we have the mill spin backplate. As you can see, the spin right there. Absolutely love this. You guys can go and make your own custom backplates, which is pretty cool. And then last but not least, we have the backup tactical compensator and barrel for Glocks. Now, this is newer to me. I've only put 50 rounds through it, but absolutely love this thing. Now, I shot with flush 10-round mags, and a lot of people talk down on the Glock 26 because when you have the 10-round mag in, a little bit of your one finger hangs off. So literally, you're getting not even a full 2 fingers of grip. But the reason I did that is, one, if you guys understand shooting and shooting fundamentals, your pinky does nothing but reassure your brain. So if you really get into shooting and get really good at shooting, you'll realize your pinky does more damage than good often. A lot of people are over gripping with their support hand, with their trigger hand and not with their support hand, right? So they're putting all their grip, they're clinching down on the grip right there in the frame. They're holding it so heavy, but not with this hand. Where this hand is really where all your recoil control and everything else is going to come from. This needs to be relaxed and more steady. That way when you pull the trigger, you're not throwing shots each direction. And that just comes down to it. But I wanted to see the amount of recoil with just the 2 fingers, right? And this finger sort of tucks underneath that 10-round magazine with the backup tactical compensator. Now, they said that it's supposed to reduce recoil to 40 to 60%, I believe it was. I would say they're pretty accurate. Now, this firearm is actually very easy to shoot as is, but oh my goodness, I thought I was shooting a 380 out of a larger firearm. I kid you not. I felt like I was shooting the Glock 28. If you guys don't know what that is, the Glock 28 is the same size as the Glock 26 chambered in 380. But when you're shooting this, 1, it's an absolute blast. 2, it was 100% reliable. And 3, if you look at this setup right here, it's actually pretty interesting. With the SLR Rifleworks +5 base plate on it, it's shorter than a Glock 19 by about that much. So a Glock 19 OEM mag comes down to here. It's also made of really light metal, super durable. I have a bunch of them. They all run flawlessly. So this is 15 rounds right here in this small setup. Now with the compensator on there, it's basically like you're carrying a Glock 19, maybe a little bit longer. But what's nice about that is you might be able to fit this in certain holsters and stuff like that. But at the same time, for those who carry a compact, this is going to be about the size of a Glock 19 right here. And you're getting 15 plus rounds, and you're getting the reduced recoil from the compensator. And I have 3 backup tactical barrels, and they all run smooth as can be. The person who makes these is actually a really good guy, and on top of that, he tests this stuff thoroughly, and he makes sure that when his products are sent out, you guys aren't the guinea pigs. A lot of firearm companies nowadays are just selling products, creating products, and giving them to you, right? And then you're using them, and you are the guinea pigs, you are the tests, and that's when they do the fixes, not with a product like this. And yes, it's going to be a little expensive, and some people say it doesn't make sense for self-defense and all that. And, in most cases, I would agree. I'm not going to carry it in this setup. But for at the range and for fun and people who do want a compensated setup, this is an awesome, awesome way to go. Also, you are adding a little bit of weight with that barrel plus the compensator, which is also going to help with the recoil and muzzle flip. So this is an absolute awesome setup right here. And here's the thing. I've tried many compensators out of my Glock 26s. And I actually was going to make a video on one of them and a review. But when I was shooting, I literally couldn't hit a gosh darn thing. And then when I went to look up the company and what it was to make a review on it, honestly, I couldn't even figure it out. Couldn't tell who made it. It seemed like it was just made in a foreign country and sold here for really cheap, and it just didn't function. Something like this, the backup tactical version, not trying to aim it at the camera, it's unloaded, it's not aimed at me. But the fitting is just so flawless on this. Look at this. On this Gen 5 slide right here. Look at the fitting. Look at the spacing. I mean, it's just flawless. And my other one, you know, had a 1-point contact of locking it in, which you have these little lock nuts right here. It had a 1-point contact, which was fine. It didn't shift. But what I like about backup tacticals, the angles these come on, and you have 2 of them. You have 2 little lock nuts in there coming in at a certain angle. Now, the one thing I didn't like is that he didn't send out the Allen wrench with it. I get it. Most of us already have that size Allen wrench. But at the same time, I would be a little bit frustrated if I got this in the mail and I didn't have that Allen wrench handy. Like I'm new to firearms or whatever the case may be. So therefore, I would say just add the Allen wrench. But honestly, that's my only complaint. The number one thing I like about this is the fitting. I mean, there is no drag with this barrel. There is no, you know, even slight hesitant of this barrel. This barrel just runs. I mean, the slide just runs. There's no issues with it going back and forth. It doesn't slow it down. I've seen where certain barrels cause a lot more drag, therefore you can't cycle properly. This is smooth as can be. The fitting, the overall fitting of these barrels and compensators is, I mean, legit flawless. Check that out. And even has a little space over your guide rod, because I've even seen in some cases Glock aftermarket guide rods pop out a little bit or stick out a little bit more. That fixes that. I mean, this is absolutely awesome. I'm super impressed by this. Now, obviously, the X Macro is a big firearm. That is a ported setup, so you don't have to add anything to it. But I know that compensators are big right now, and a lot of people are interested in them. So you know I had to go out and get this. It's absolutely awesome. Like I said, about the size of a Glock 19. The only issue, like I said, is going to be holster availability. And then also in self-defense encounters, you're going to be having your gases come straight up. Which, you know, it is what it is, but that might, you know, mess with your vision or whatever the case may be is. What I've noticed is this disperses the gases enough to where you are not being blinded or anything like that. You still have fast follow-up shots. And also self-defense, you're going to be pointing, aiming, and just letting it go. It's going to come down to skills at that point, not if there's a little bit of gas or smoke or fog in your way of your vision. And on top of that, the optic, it didn't really dirty up my optic that bad. I did have to clean it, but I clean it every time I, you know, get back from the range. So it is what it is. But this thing is absolutely awesome. Love this setup. Let me know in the comments, would you carry with a compensator? Do you carry with a compensator? Or do you not trust aftermarket parts like this on an everyday carry firearm? Because my experience is with Glocks, if you use OEM internals, you're going to be just fine. If you use a decent company's barrel, you're going to be just fine. They have the largest aftermarket support out of any firearm in the world. Therefore, there are so many competitors, therefore making the products better and better, and companies are almost forced to do a better job. But Backup Tactical is just one of those companies that took their time and made an awesome, awesome product. Now, obviously, this is available for other Glocks as well. I think also maybe the SIG P320, which, you know, it is what it is. I have my own thoughts about the P320. But this setup, absolutely sick. Let me know in the comments, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.